is the energy forecast for May 2020 for Earth. My name is Liam. Colleen is in the room to help balance and ask any questions if necessary. Hello, Colleen.
Hello, Liam.
For the month of May, the energy that you'll be processing is quite different from the energy of April. April, you were being compressed. You were being told to stay in place. For the month of May, think of your energy as being crystalline. Think of it becoming more clear, more structured, allowing you to go deeper to the inside of who you are. To recognize that you are no longer defined by the work that you do, but that the heart and the emotions that you have will define who you are. For the month of May, you will feel your energy begin and then stop. This is not to create any kind of frustration, but it is to give you the opportunity to be more aware of the point from which you begin. Your perceptions of who you are and the world around you will give you the clarity, the authenticity of your outcome. Many of you on Earth do not have that clarity. So with the retrogrades that occur for the month of May, it will allow you to begin, to stop, and to begin again. Mid-month of May, you're going to find a deeper connection with your psychic abilities, mostly with your empathic abilities, with your deep inner emotional knowing. There have been many messages describing how the people on Earth are coming away from their heads and deep to their hearts. Mid-May provides that space for you to go within. When we are globally looking at the Earth for May, within this cycle, you will find a large range of experiences. But what is different about this is you will only take on what serves you. You will no longer be driven to take on everything, to be responsible for that which you are not engaged in. You will find your core inner emotional strength to speak up. You will find your creativity and your expression louder than ever before. Month of May will hold a lot of false information, falsities. Is this the correct word?
It is. Can you give us a little clarity on what you mean by false information? Does that mean coming from our government or the media? What do you mean by that?
The month of May will present a lot of false information. From your newspapers, to your internet news, to your government. It will be false news from everything about how people's well-beings are due to the coronavirus, to as far as false information about what is happening in the stars with us. The reason the false information is coming out and is so prevalent at this time is to help gain control over the masses. Mid-May, when the emotional consciousness level hits a mass peak, Many governments and people in power, companies in power, religion in power will feel helpless. They will begin to weave stories and to tell lies to help win back followers, to maintain leadership, and to maintain power. It is not in the natural status of humans on earth to be governed by one or a handful. You were made universally. You were made as one. You were made to express freedom, love, harmony. And when there is leadership above all, these things are compromised. Though you have tried to gain this in the past, it was done mostly for the rights of humanity, the right for life. And this fight was very logical. This fight being presented now is not solely for the rights of humanity and life and individuality, for independence of self. It is the right for emotional expression. Though it will not be written this way in history, nor will it be written this way in news, you will see the difference. There have been so many stories throughout your time of love conquering all, of love winning. You are at the beginning of this story, and it begins mid-May. So these false stories of how life is difficult, how the government needs you to stay calm, the requirements for the greater good will not all be accurate. And I ask as an observer to your earth, to your evolution, to your existence, to look inward to yourself, to make your decisions. And as you are making yours, love others' decisions. Show respect and love and kindness towards all that is out there, because this is how you will gain your enlightenment. Life does not need your approval to exist or be harmonious. Life needs your love to be harmonious. All can exist for who they are if all are expressing love. Towards the end of May, you will see more of entities like me coming down to give messages, to give hope, to encourage you to live as who you are. We are not here to hold you back. We are here to help you evolve. You will notice an increase in sightings of our ships, of our light, of our messages. You will notice the government releasing articles and statements claiming the validation and the proof behind all of this. It is when the government begins to share what our messages are that you will see the falseness in it, that you will identify the lie, and those that choose to believe in the lies because it resonates with them, a deep fear They will be called the followers. We're not here to give any fear. We are only here to help. Your month of May is going to hold a great shift in consciousness and a great shift in emotional consciousness. That which you have read in books about the future, feeling that it would never happen during your lifetime, is about to happen. Take solace in knowing that you are safe and that you have a voice. Take solace in knowing that in these hard times, in these difficult challenges, that they were presented so that you would move into your heart to make those decisions from how you feel and not what you know. In May, you will discover more and more of what you know is inaccurate. You will be challenged to let go of those old thoughts, the old knowledge, to make way for new. This will happen through fall 2020 and slightly into winter. But with the stop and go energy, with all the retrogrades, with the placement of planets that feeds the earth a certain vibration to charge certain actions and feelings, that stop and go will help you gain clarity on your beginning point and help you decide who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Thank you for having me. Unless there are questions, Colleen.
Can you expand a little further? I do have a question. Hearing you talk about how this energy will start and then stop and then start and then stop, can you kind of provide us with an example of what that might look like? Because isn't energy just constantly flowing? Is it the amped up energy of the media and then coming down? Is it the amped up energy of the collective?
Those are good examples. You will find you will have moments where you will know exactly where you want to go, exactly how you will see your family and your business. And you'll begin to plan and put forth thought and feeling into moving towards that. And then you will feel as if it has all been taken away. You will read in the papers information and stories of a great importance, and then 2 days later it will never be discussed again. It will exhaust your energy, it will exhaust your mind. There will be a lack of follow-through from your government, from the medical field, from the reports, from requests made by friends, by family. But this is not done out of frustration. It is done for you to create more space in identifying who you are and how you want to be seen moving forward. Are there more questions?
Not at this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. The body's really sticky. Look at my hands. Can you see my hands?
Are they glued together?
Look at that.
You know, Maitland, I didn't even notice that until you pointed out, but it was a lot of very, intense.
He's so big.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his light is so bright, it just makes the body go. Look, it's like I have my hair, but it's really short. My hair's like this, but it's long and curly. But not, well, it kind of gets fuzzy, but it's more curl.
It's cute, isn't it?
It's very cute. I like it a lot. I get to come in and talk about May's energy, May for 2020's chakra energy. May is pretty wild, but it's very nice. It's different than April because April was get in your box and stay in your box. And May is like, we know you've been in that box and you're ready to get out, but you're not going to move like you moved before. You're not going to move from here. You're going to definitely move from here. And if you had any emotional healing to do, guess what? It happens beginning May 16th. You're going to go, why am I feeling this way? And you might cry a lot, and you might be really happy a lot, and you just have no idea why. It's pretty fun because you won't get to carry your wounds forward. Many people like to carry their wounds. So there's this great divide happening where consciousness and emotional consciousness is rising, like the awareness that something greater is happening. But then there's those people that are just tired and they don't want to do that kind of work. So they're just like, I just don't want to acknowledge it. And I really just wish somebody would give me the rules and I will follow that, which is just, it's fine too. There's what Liam was calling the followers. They're like the sleepers. So they will do that. Both are fine paths. You take whichever path that you need, because even if you're a sleeper or a follower, later on you can jump up. Even if you're up here in consciousness and aware of the whole and you get tired, you can step down. Like, we're fluid. This isn't like I'm cutting a piece of paper in half and we always believe that it's separate. This is like ocean waves. You can be on top of the wave, and then whenever you want, you can come down beneath the wave and get into the undercurrent. So please don't think that you're one or the other or try to measure yourself up to it. So last month, I talked about chakras that were going to be strengthened, challenged, and needed. And last month, the one that was going to be strengthened was the throat because of all the talky. And this month, the chakra that's going to be strengthened is the heart, because you're going to be coming across in mid-May this divide of love and emotional intelligence and healing old wounds. So if you're raising your consciousness, all these old things are going to pop back up and you're going to go, look at that ancestral thing. I don't want that anymore. Clip, because energy can be healed and addressed like in seconds. You don't have to take years to do it and years in therapy. So it's really nice that end of May, actually kind of through July, we can kind of tidy up those things. So the chakra that's going to be challenged the most is the solar plexus. This guy, because you're going to need to know who you are, because people are going to want to know who you are. Well, what's your opinion, and what do you know, and what do you think, and what do you blah, blah, blah. But that's old stuff. New stuff is you don't have to give in to the what do you think, what do you know, how smart are you, and where do you stand, and who are you going to vote for, and all of this. Because it's going to be more of a, I am an I, but I'm part of a whole. And your language is going to be more heart-centered, and it's going to talk about whole, all of us, all different colors, all different status and economy, like all. It's not going to be just about the I, But it's going to be really challenging because you're going to go, oh my God, I don't know who I am anymore, which is great because all of the healing, and you're going to be really strong, and coming from here is going to help you move through it like this. So guess what gets sped up? The one that's going to be needed the most is the throat one, which was the one that was being strengthened last month. So it's kind of cool because we get into May. You're going to need this self-expression a lot. You're going to be asked to talk in moments you don't want to talk. You're like, I can't. I don't know what to say. But you're going to, and if you can't out of your voice, you're going to do it with artwork. You're going to do it with writing. Think of like the Renaissance is trying to be reborn and come back to life a little bit. So that's chakra talk for the month of May. Colleen is here, which is really fun because it was really lonely doing it last time. Colleen, do you have any questions about the month of May?
The month of May in general, or about chakras in the month of May?
Both.
I do. I had so many questions for Liam, but I know this is a short segment.
Why did you ask them?
Because I could tell intuitively that it was a road that we could have went down for hours. And so when I sit here with all of you, my first and foremost thought is that I want to ask the right questions for the collective. Mm-hmm. So if you want to talk a little bit more about the month of May, I mean, everything both you and Liam are talking about, I feel like I've been going through a lot these previous months. And so listening to you, I'm like, is it going to get more intense for me, or was it intense for me before so I can help others this time around?
So for those of you who have gone through and say, oh, I'm kind of checking those marks off, mm-hmm. That's so that you can help those, because this is a mass awakening.
So that's what I'm feeling, and I'm feeling a lot of people listening may be in the same boat as I am. Maybe not everyone, we're all in different spots, but that it's going to be a more important time than ever to really be able to hold that space for people.
To use the throat chakra and listen to people as they have their aha moments. Well, it's their heart moment. Because they're going to be deep. But the thing that everybody's in the same boat with is recognizing how much the government is lying, mm-hmm. and how much information that they're putting out that's not accurate. How much the banks are doing underground, and how they're using your money, and how there's so many structures that are in place and that have been in place for 60, 70 years or so that are really calling all the shots, and they're not in the mainstream, and how companies are being fed those monies. And now those companies have been slowly buying up other companies and locations in cities so that they do have a reign. So there cannot be democracy, that you can't have masses vote and that we follow what the masses are voting about. So in May, come towards the end of May, all of this is going to come out of the box, where some of you are going, oh, I know about the black government, and I know about this, and we kind of know about it, and we hear about it, and like a lot of the conspiracies that are going around, that just seems so far-fetched. You're going to start to see the trail of proof behind most of them, not all of them, and just go, oh my gosh, I'm being validated, and I'm not as crazy as I thought I was, and this is really intense. And the people who are connected to the mass field consciousness, where we're all raising our vibrations, our voices are going to be big enough to tip and overthrow. So that's why the government is getting a little bit stronger right now, and is going to put out a lot of fear to keep you in place, because they don't want to lose the control.
Maitland, I'd like to make a statement, and you can correct me if you have any, or make a comment. So I think a lot of times when people hear government, they hear who's in charge right now. So they might think of a political party that's in charge right now. But I think it's really important that we know that the government is all of the parties, all of the
puppet.
Yes. So I think that that's really important to say because I don't know how to put this into words, so maybe we can...
Because the information, some people are very loyal to their belief systems about the government, and when they hear that it might not all be accurate, you might take it as a hurtful statement. But what I'm sharing is not meant to be a hurtful statement at all. It's really disappointing when we believe in something so long and then we find out it wasn't upholding what it's saying it was, or that there was something underneath it that was kind of rotting the ground to where what you believed in is going to collapse. And that's pretty much what's happening with the American government that is seeded itself into other national governments in different countries. So we're not alone when I'm talking about just the American government, because we've infiltrated other systems as well. I say we like as in Americans, not we as in spirit. And when I talk about this, it's definitely not about one political party over the other. It's about the structure of, the system of. And how they lost control. But that was a long time in the making. That's like when you're in a marriage and you've really fallen in love with them, and then like 25 years later, or even like 35 years later, you look at each other and you're like, I still respect you, or I still love you, but I'm not in love with you. And so you have these awarenesses and you have this kind of respect, but you're like, this is not what we thought it was. And it'd be best if we separated so we can have what we believed we were going to get in our lives because we couldn't do it together. You're going to have a lot of those kinds of feelings, not just in marriage. I'm not saying there. That was just the example. You're going to have a lot of those kinds of feelings when it comes to government, when it comes to some of the conspiracies, when it comes to multidimensional beings and aliens, when it comes to technology, when it comes to free energy, when it comes to you understanding really why you're still using gas and oil and why you're still making CO2 emissions and why you're not believing in global warming, or why, all of those things that have been just dropped in here and there, but have been squashed by this undercurrent of structure that's not mainstream. Because all the people on the earth tend to be more mainstream because that's what they see and that's what they're fed and that's how you made your decisions was up here. I'm talking about this structure. It's about to rear its head and things are going to collapse and you're going to go, oh, it's not what I thought it was. Oh, no. And then you're not going to do from here. You're going to go from here, which is kind of cool. Now, that's the big change of people on earth.
And wouldn't you say, too, that going from here, I'm pointing to my heart, you can't see me on camera, is also going within and trusting your intuition? Don't you think that that's being strengthened more than ever, that people realize that that's a real, legit thing to say, okay, I know everyone's agreeing with that statement, but that doesn't resonate with me.
Yes.
At all.
Like, that doesn't feel good. You can even say things like that.
Yes.
That doesn't feel good. Boop, 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 boop. That needs to have a little alarm that goes off. And you'll have a better alarm system through mid-May into July. That's when the system is really being built in people.
It's empowering.
It's very empowering. You're going to start feeling a lot, feeling what others are feeling and going through. It's going to be, for a lot of you who don't normally do that every day, you're going to be, what is going on? And then the rest of them are going to be like, go ahead. You can lean on my shoulder and talk to me about that. I've been doing that for a while.
Well, and we've been learning for a while now how important it is that when you are feeling a certain way, and deep down it's not yours, right?
Oh, yeah.
You step aside and you go, is this mine? Is this mine? Jamie and I were talking about this the other day, and to learn these tools now, to continue to get through what we're going to have to get through with this big divide coming, is so important.
Because that's the way your body was naturally made. Your human body has more power than you could ever imagine. But we're going to get into that later.
You know what I'm seeing in my head as a visual?
What?
Do you know, I think it was like in the 80s when speed reading was really like a big deal. Like all these programs were being sold to like speed read. We're going through like speed intuition right now.
Yes, we are. We're waking up for speed intuition lessons. We'll begin first by destroying how you think, and you will move into how you feel.
We're laughing, but it's very challenging.
It is.
It
It's
is.
hard.
I get it. It's hard. It's hard.
But that's why we're here, and we're doing our very best. And like how Liam was doing his very best about talking about really big things in a very simple way, which is easy to listen to, but then when you stop listening, you're like, wait, what? What? How? What? And the whole what and the how and things like that is coming through experience for you. It's firsthand knowledge. We're here to kind of start the glazing process so that you're more aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get into May every day, it's going to be the experience of it. And there's your how, when, why, what, who, all that coming forward. And that is our May message for 2020. I want to do it like this all the time.
I like
Will you
that.
be here every month?
Yeah. I mean, really, I think the last time I wasn't around because we really couldn't be at that time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, April, we're
That's
little bit
right.
more
We
confined.
were separated
Yeah.
and put in boxes.
Yeah, into our houses. Thank you
Look
so
what I
much
can
for. Thank you, Maitland.
You're welcome. Bye, Luminaires. Have a very wonderful and beautiful May. And remember, it's not woo-woo, it's true. Bye. Notice how I didn't do the see you later, alligators. Because they're not gonna do that.